Prime Minister, Brother Lee Hsien Loong, Sister Ho Ching, DPM Teo, members of the Labour Movement family, unionists, U Associates, USME, UFSEs, Tripartite partners, very happy May Day to one and all. Today we are doing something different. You saw the 120 over flags that came in, and they are still growing. Today we have more than 60 plus 1 union, and soon you'll be 60 plus 1 plus 1. Today we have more than 30 U Associates, and they have more than doubled since last year. Today we are reaching out to the freelancers, the contract workers. Today we are reaching out to all the taukeis, with more than 3,000 of them on board to reach out to more than 70,000 workers. So it is a growing labor movement, and we are proud of that. It's not something that we take for granted. In other countries today, they will send out the riot police to make sure that the two sides don't fight. Our May Day, we also call in the police. But we want to make sure that the traffic is smooth so that every one of us, tripartite partners, can be in the same hall at the same time. Since last year, we had our NDC 2015, our National Delegates Conference. We went back to the drawing board. Our brand is good, our membership is growing, but we never rest on our laurels. We ask ourselves, how can we do better? Who are the people we serve? What should we do more? And we look at the experience of other countries, we ask ourselves, will we end up like that? So we went back to the drawing board, and we remind ourselves that at the heart of all that we do, at the core of all that we do, will be always the interests of our working people. Then the question is, who's our working people? In the past, people think that the unions, the labor movement, is only about the rank and file. Today, when we talk about the working people, we include more than the rank and file. In fact, that day, Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong asked me this trick question. He says, how do you define a working people? So I thought I gave him a smart aleck answer. I said, well, sir, you know, anybody that collects a paycheck is a working person. Then he asked me the next question. So can I join the union? I thought about it. Well, Prime Minister, we will most certainly welcome you to join the union. But I don't think we can provide you with collective agreement and bargaining. But protection we can. You can be rest assured that all the brothers and sisters here will protect you, no problem. Then we ask ourselves, just as we have tiered services for different types of working people, what services can we provide our Prime Minister? Then we thought about it. Career development. Well, that one a bit tough. We probably also don't want to develop your career too much because we want you to stay in your current job. Then we thought, the new generation need networking opportunities. That one we can provide you. Because today we have more than 9,000 members, more than 200,000 in our U Associate program. So networking we can definitely provide you. But not protection, not collective agreement and bargaining. That one I don't dare to say. Just in case your cabinet, our cabinet, start to have collective agreement and bargaining with you. So better don't go down. So we have reviewed our mission in the last NDC 2015, and we come up with 3 very simple words that encapsulate all that we do. Take care of our workers, be fair to our workers, and make sure that we grow our workers. So this is the reason why we have this infamous triangle that by now, all of you in the hall, especially those in the unions, will have this edge in your mind. Because whatever we do, never forget these 3 simple words. To take care of our people, to be fair to our people, and make sure, most importantly, to grow our people. So over the last 1 year, we have done much, and thanks to the support of our various ministries partner, we have been able to better take care of our people. Zainer, where are you? Zainer, working very hard to take care of our low-wage worker. But at the bottom of it all, it is not about asking people to give us extra salaries, extra benefits, just because we ask. at the heart of what Zainer does has to do with a lot of background work behind the scene, trying to lift the productivity of our workers so that they can enjoy a good salary to take care of their families. So we are very thankful for all the efforts that the government has supported us. I was just told of the good news last night that the government has extended the Inclusive Growth Program, the IGP program, for a few more years to take care of the lowest segment of our working population. So thank you to MTI, thank you to MOM, and thank you to all the government agencies. Brother Suisse has also extended the Special Employments Credit, extended the Workfare Income Supplement Scheme. All these are good schemes, but all these must be seen as temporary schemes that we want to work towards reducing our reliance over the long term. Over the long term, we have no choice but to make sure that we look at the training of the men, look at the kind of machines that we have. But most importantly, we have to work with the employers to change the mindset of how we design our jobs, change the methods which we do. Because if we truly care for the lowest wage earners amongst us, it is incumbent upon us to make sure that we give them a better environment so that they can truly earn the kind of wages that they deserve. So Zainer will be working hard on this. For the social enterprises, they have also not been staying still. Yes, today we have a commanding position in NTUC, fair price, and income. But technology is disrupting many of the things that we are doing. So the social enterprises, the NTUC social enterprises, are challenging ourselves how to make sure that we stay relevant. Ask ourselves, what are the new kind of services that we need? For example, increasingly, care services, elder care for the elderly population, child care, student care. All these are new services that we have to look seriously to see how we can better serve our members. It doesn't mean that we have to dominate the market. What it means is that it requires us to understand how and what we can do to stabilize the prices to make sure that the services are affordable to everyone in the market. So the social enterprises are not staying still. Likewise, the best way to care for our workers is to make sure that our strong tripartite relationship continues. And this is the reason why, since last year, we have embarked on a journey to grow a new generation of tripartite leaders, to grow the bipartite relationship at each and every company level. The current strong tripartite relationship cannot be just dependent on a few people sitting in front. It must require all of us to work together. So we are very happy to see the good progress made by the cross-posting of officers between the ministries and NTUC. We're very happy to welcome a whole group of civil servants to join our unions as observers for them to understand firsthand on the ground what are the issues that we are tackling with. But there are many more things that we need to do when we talk about caring for our workers. We need to do much more to take care of the women in terms of flexible work arrangement. We need to prepare our evergreen or elderly workers for a longer working life. We need to take care of even the foreign workers within our midst. So on that note, I also like to congratulate the Migrant Work Center for all the good work that you have done and the new Center for Domestic Employees, because your efforts not only take care of the foreign workers amongst us, your efforts also show the world that we as Singapore, we take care of all those people who are part of our large working family. And there is a good testimony for us to do what we can to make sure that they are well taken care of when they come here to work with us away from their families. So thank you all very much to all the union leaders for all the hard work over the last 1 year. As the Chinese will say, 辛苦了. Without your hard work, today we won't be able to enjoy this harmonious state of relationship. On the issue of being fair, we have made much progress with the help of MOM and SNAF. Today, when you hear the word about being fair to our workers, you will always think of this word called Tripartite Alliance. Started with Brother Suisse. We today have the TAFEP, the Tripartite Alliance for Fair Employment Practice. Soon we will have the Tripartite Alliance for Dispute Management, the Employment Claims Tribunal. All these setups are unique compared to the rest of the world. We don't go and quarrel with each other because we all believe that we are all in the same family. All this setup gives us the opportunity to sit down together as tripartite partners to resolve each and every issue, big and small. It doesn't matter whether it is an issue at the company level or at the industry level. we have put in place and we will continue to strengthen this mechanism whereby we can depend on the tripartite partners to sit down together calmly, openly, and share frankly what are the things that concern us most. So there are much that we need to do to make sure that as we work on this, we can continue to have a framework to take care of our people. But there are other things that we need to do, and this is where the labor movement must get our act together. There are many new challenges. Medical benefits for our growing population, our aging population, retirement system, retirement ages. All these required hard work, all these require us to think very carefully what are the things that we need to do in order to best serve our workers. This is the reason why we have reorganized OTCI to be led by Brother Steve, to make sure that we link up with the other think tanks and agencies, learn from the best practices across the world, find solutions that can be applied in context in Singapore to better serve our worker. Never just take other people's practices and apply it to Singapore. That won't be good for us, and that doesn't serve our interests, the workers' interests well. Be bold enough to make sure that we find solutions that really work for us to take care of our workers. Last but not least, let me go to the last triangle of growing the labor movement, and this is where I want to spend a bit more time today. Today, we have a strong and growing membership, but we need to do more. Today, we need to grow a strong network. A network is a function of three factors. One, our membership must continue to grow. Two, we must make sure that we continue to represent the workers from diverse sectors. How representative are we? And third is the strength of the bonds. So today we keep emphasizing this about growing a network. Growing a network means growing the membership, growing the bonds, and growing the representativeness of the labor movement. The labor movement cannot be one that just serves a certain segment of society. It requires us to make sure that we serve workers across the spectrum of society. The labor movement must be a reflection of the structure of the economy. As the structure of the economy evolves, we too must evolve. As the needs of our people change, we too must change. The workers are becoming increasingly diverse and sophisticated. Business models are also changing rapidly and more frequently. This is where the labor movement have our job cut out for us. In order to meet the needs of the growing and more diverse group of workers, we must make sure that our services continue to expand, continue to meet the relevant and current needs of our workers. This is why we emphasize so much on the network. But it is not just about numbers. We too need to grow our leaders and grow a next generation of union leaders, you Associate Exco. This is why under the leadership of Brother Heng Chi Hao, we're going to set up a leadership council to make sure that each and every generation of union leaders, each and every generation of you Associate Excos lead their respective organizations with the correct values. Values that put the people and the workers always before them. Values that says that we will never abuse or misuse the privileges given to us. Values that speak to us as being good stewards of the resources that have been given to us. That whatever our predecessors have left us, let it be a platform, be a platform for us to go higher, go further. Not for us, but always for our workers. If we can remember this, we will not go far wrong. We also want to grow the comms network for all of you in the hall. If one day I SMS the U associate leaders, the union leaders, the L cube, if within 3 steps I can't reach you, we are in trouble. So you need to check your handphone, because the labor movement is no longer one that takes ages to communicate to you. We will want to improve and strengthen our communications and mobilization system. Really, I mean it. If within 3 hops, I can't get a message to you, we have failed. On the other hand, within 2 hops, you can't get your message back to us, we have also failed. It's a stretch goal that we set ourselves. We challenge ourselves to make sure that not only as we grow big, we grow tight. And that is the strength of the labor movement. The bigger we are, the tighter we must be. Now, then you'll notice the bottom triangle about skills future. This is the crux of our message today. In the short term, we are facing a lot of economic headwinds. there are cyclical factors that affects the economy this year. I spoke about this 2 days ago at the May Day rally. You look around the world, there are many challenges. Many countries are distracted. For us, we also live in an environment which is not so easy. But having said that, we must still look at the long-term structural issues to prepare our workers for the challenges of tomorrow. This is where Skills Future come in. And this is where the focus of this year's labor movement work is on training our workers to make sure that we are ready. We'll need to up our game. We'll need to step up the pace in order to make sure that as we go through this cyclical slowdown, we will come out even better than our competitors, that we will pull further ahead from our competitors. The government has done this last year by investing more than $1 billion in the Skills Future credit. So the government has allowed us to have the means to do it. But that is not the end of the story. We need to do two more things better this year. First, all of us here as union leaders, UEXCO leaders, USME leaders, whatever it may be, all of us here, we need to mobilize our working people to embark on a journey to embrace lifelong learning as a culture. There is no point for the government to put $1 billion into the kitty if we are unable to mobilize each and every worker to go and do what is right. Not just for today, but always with an eye for tomorrow, to make sure that we are ready for tomorrow. So the labor movement this year will mobilize all our people. We are the mobilizers to partner the government who have provided the funding. The second thing that we need to do this year and to step up the pace, which Prime Minister will make an announcement later, is this. When our workers are ready to be trained, when our workers want to be trained, the labor movement must work with our partners to make sure that we have enough training modules that are timely and relevant for our people to access them. No point having the money, no point having the attitude, but without the supply side of the modules. This is why this year the labor movement will work very hard with all the post-secondary education institutions, the Institute of Higher Learning, the private service provider, to make sure that we have this set of modules and a growing set of modules for all our working people, including the PMEs. The best way for us to take care of our people is to make sure that they have a good job and that they can take care of themselves. In every society, it's like that. The more the middle class can take care of themselves, the more we are able to focus our resources to take care of those who really cannot take care of themselves. And this is the reason why we must embark on this. So we must be the mobilizer. We must work with the other partners to provide those modules to reach out and serve our workers. But we must also be the integrator. On May Day dinner, I spoke about this. Now the government has 3 agencies working closely, 3 ministries, working closely with the labor movement. MOE to make sure that we have the skills of the future, MOM to make sure that we have the jobs of the future, and MTI to make sure that we have the careers of the future. So within the tripartite relationship, now we have a mini tripartite relationship within the government, and we must make sure that NTUC plug into this network to make sure that all the policies, all the good intent of the government is delivered and translated across the last mile to serve our workers. So this year, brothers and sisters of the labor movement, we have our job cut out for us. The economic climate is tough, but we need not worry. As I said on May Day dinner, we have the resources. Not many countries can be like Singapore, where you can devote $1 billion to Skills Future, $4.5 billion to restructuring, and come up with a plethora of schemes from SEC, WIS, to IGP, and so forth to help our workers. So we have the resources. Second, we have the partnership. We have the partnership amongst the tripartite partners to make sure that we can translate all these resources into actionable plans to serve our workers. But we must never be complacent, never sit on our laurels. Always check our blind spot to ask ourselves and challenge ourselves. Can we do better? Where can we do better? Where else can we do less? Because it's no longer as relevant. But so long as the tripartite partners stay together, work together, I am confident that we will be able not only just to ride out the current economic slowdown, I'm confident that we will emerge from this pulling further ahead from our nearest competitors as well. That is what we have done in the past, and that is what we will do again and again. Each and every crisis for us is another opportunity for us to strengthen our tripartite model. We have seen how other people have collapsed because they cannot stand the test of time. We have done well so far, but never be complacent. Keep checking our blind spot. Keep those very values that our founding generations have left us, to always put the workers in front of us, and then we will have nothing to fear. On that note, brothers and sisters, and everyone in this hall, tripartite partners, thank you very much for your support for the labor movement all these years. Thank you very much for bonding us together as one big Singapore family to show the world that as the times get going, we will also get going. We will not only surpass the expectations, we will more than surpass the expectations to do the best for our workers and all working people in Singapore. Happy May Day.